they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk, say, make we no talk. But thank God, say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun the command of the masses. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. This man not dey off in mind. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come. Oh.
Hello there. Thank you so much for joining me. Share this broadcast.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
And good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to every one of you tuning in tonight. This is Mayegun Live.
Diary politico. Godfatherism. Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary. Ẹ fara balẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Mayegun diary. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary.
When I hear people declaring for APC, saying that they want to continue the good job of Mr. President, the good job of people dying every day, the good job of Naira falling every day, I feel so ashamed that we have gotten to the level where sacrificing, people will come and say, look, I want to continue the good job of Buhari. What is the good job of Buhari? Of hunger is a good job. Of poverty is a good job. Of insecurity is a good job. Of the economy falling is a good job. It's such a shameful thing. I can't believe that somebody will come out in today's Nigeria and say, I want to continue where Mr. Buhari has stopped. May God forgive. May God never allow bad people to continue to.
Thank you very much for joining me. Share this broadcast, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun is here. Sure.
Una know wetin dey annoy me pass for this election matter. Those of you now wey be say una dey abroad. Una dey abroad na comot for this country because una dey find good life for una self and una children. I make una run comot because this country e no good, e no let una stay. Na I make una run comot. But you can't comot now dey abroad. You dey from there they campaign for PDP and APC. Wey kill this country, wey make this country dey like this so. Wey not make you fit stay, you still dey campaign for them. Now Google kill you. Now Ogun, there is no two ways about it. Ogun go do collaboration with Thunder, fire you. The way you take go empty-handed, now that empty-handed, now you take come back. You dey enjoy the good things of life, oh. You see, government provide good road for them. Security you get. What anything way that you they pay for, you they receive and they receive light, good road, good social amenities. But you they say make we see the vote for this PDP and APC for here where you live, where you because of our wrong. It not go better for you. Anything where you lay your hand upon for that side, it not go move forward. Not because now karma. Now wait till you bring upon yourself. Now you they receive so. Because I can you imagine how this country don't die rich? The thing can't pay you. You can't run. You don't even consider people where it still run no way not female can reach there. All of them back for Libya Road. Today now that they kidnap who they kidnap. They send videos to their loved ones for yeah. Make that they bring out some money, else they'll buy their pikin. You can't see get mad because you don't cross, you don't dare obodo ibo. Anyhow we work out for year, you not concern you again. You still the campaign, you still you get mad on your useless phone. On your useless phone, we go put you for trouble. Say you they campaign for all these old men we kill this country. You not go better for you. Anything where you lay your hand upon for good, you not go prosper. You will never see light in your life. The way you say they pray for darkness for this country, light will run from you. Every good things of life will run for you.
Thank you very much for joining me. And what you have on your screen is an official statement from the official Twitter handle of the Central Bank of Nigeria. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. This is what we're going to analyze. This is what we're going to dig into and see how much of you probably will feel the crime they have committed against you. And they were only able to do that because of one Nigeria. The official foreign exchange receipt from crude oil sales into our official reserves has dried up steadily from above $3 billion monthly in 2014 to an absolute $0 today. Emefiole. Now I'm going to explain this to you the same way I have managed to explain to myself, and a better way indeed. When APC, Egbekegbe, came in with all promises that later became cancelled. Nigeria, under Goodluck Jonathan, was making over $3 billion from oil every month. And as they were making the money, they were sharing the money. Sometimes in 2012, when the likes of Adams, Oshi, Omole of Edo, he was governor then. The likes of Isaleko, Barack Obama, Ajangbadi, Aristotle, Fashola, he was governor then too. In the likes of Ubima, Judas Iscariot, Amechi, Rotimi, he was governor of Rivers then. By 2013, when they were coming together as a strange bedfellows to start what is today APC, Egbekegbe, they took Goodluck Jonathan to court. Why? Before the emergence of Yaradua and Jonathan in 2007, when Obasanjo was living, the sum of $44 point something billion in Nigeria foreign reserve. He left 21 point something billion dollars in what they called the excess crude account. You know why I'm telling you all of this? They are all interlinked and connected to what is now today zero. So when Obasanjo handed over to Yaradua, with that balance, Yaradua died 3 years after taking that power. When Goodluck Egbere Jonathan became the substantive president of Nigeria in 2010, the balance in the Nigerian foreign reserve was somewhere around $37 billion. Over $7 billion already withdrawn within 3 years. The balance in the excess crude account was somewhere around $15 billion. Over $6 billion have also been withdrawn. This money people have not really asked about that money. But now let's go to Jonathan. Now, when Jonathan came, crude oil production in Nigeria was somewhere around 1.8 million barrels every day at over $100 per barrel. So much money. Why did Obasanjo create excess crude accounts? In Nigeria, they rely more on how much crude oil they sell. In fact, they build their budget or they plan their budget based on what they call oil benchmark. What is oil benchmark? Is that whatever the price of crude oil this year, what do you project it to be next year? Oh, it is $40 per barrel this year. We expect that it's going to be somewhere around $60 next year. Then in Nigeria, they use the plus or minus formula. I don't know what that is, but you know what I mean? Like if it be up, if it be down, or if it be middle. So they will now budget. They put their budget on how much is, do you think we should put the price of barrel, it's okay. Okay, put it at $30. Now, if next year oil is sold for, a barrel of oil is sold for $40, $50, or $60, even $100, that means we have already cut our clothes according to our size. So any excess that you get, you can put them away for the raining day. That was what Obasanjo did. And that's how much, that's why he was able to save over $21 billion that he left for Goodluck and then Yaradua. That was the origin of excess crude account. Now let's fast forward to 2013. Ajangbadi Aristotle from Lagos. Ubima Iscariot from Rivers. Oshiomole of Edo, they instituted a case. And that case was that money that you are putting in that account, that Obasanjo is like a federal government. They have no right under the Nigerian law that said, once you kill them, mo will share them. Once you kill them, mo will share them. Nothing like saving any goddamn thing because it's not your money. The Obasanjo had no right. Federal government of Nigeria have no right to keep the money that belongs to everybody and say because it's excess, they are saving it. In fact, they were slightly right. And I'll tell you, they got the rumor that Goodluck Egbere Jonathan, like Yaradua, he has already started spending that money too. Remember, the balance was 21 billion in 2007 when Obasanjo handed over. They drawn it down to somewhere around 15 billion within 3 years of Yaradua. So these guys were in the opposition. So to them, they were like, no, we must share the money. By the time they got judgment from court that said that excess crude account, they must share the money. The balance in the account was somewhere around there, 12 billion. Jonathan said, don't spend at about 3 billion. Sharp. So last, they got a court case that said the money must be shared. So from 21 billion, 15 billion, 12 billion, it was drawn down to $7.5 billion when APC, Egbekegbe, took over from Jonathan. $7.5 billion. Remember, the purpose of the account is that any money they make in excess of what they have budgeted or their benchmark for oil, because oil, that oil sale, is what they put all the hope of Nigeria on. Meanwhile, other areas have been shared by them, and the proceeds from them, they go straight into private pockets. But you see that oil. So if it goes down, Nigeria shaking you, Nigeria sink. But by 2015, the balance in the foreign reserve of Nigeria was $32 billion. Which means within the space of 5 years, Goodluck Jonathan didn't add any penny to it, or maybe he added, plus or minus, that balance in the account was less than, was $3 billion to $4 billion less. So the sale of crude oil was fine because they were making good money. NNPC under Diezani, you remember Diezani? Under Diezani, they were remitting money. The record of the Central Bank of Nigeria, which Emefiole is part of and still part of, showed that Nigeria was making over $3 billion every month as at 2014. But by 2015 and today, they are making zero remittances. That then explained it. Nigeria is in bad shape, mismanaged, looted. Nigerians have become poorer. Nigeria is so vulnerable, exposed. The value of an average Nigerian is completely being trashed. You know it, I know it. And these are the reasons. The Central Bank of Nigeria said they have depleted the account that normally receive the money from the crude sale. Let me tell you one of the things that happened when these people came in. Oil theft in Nigeria escalated from 2015. Listen to this. I'm giving you real data here. You can go and cross-check. These are real life issues. These are the reasons why many of you are struggling. The reasons why many of you, majority of you today in Nigeria, why you have become prayer warriors, believing that somebody somewhere is after your destiny. Nobody is after your destiny other than the system that is already rigged against your destiny. It's just going to be like the whole world is against you. This is why an average Nigerian is undervalued, never respected, for real, in any part of the world, despite being the most populous or the biggest black nation on earth, the most mismanaged place. Let's break it down now. In 2015, they received a balance of 7.5 billion when they were making sales from the crude oil. After Jonathan himself stole, depleted, and did what they did with during their own time. Sorry, give me a sec. I am having an issue with my screen in a moment.
ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Máyé bó ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyé bó ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀.
Sorry about that. That fixed it, okay? I've got this too long cable, and sometimes I feel like it's just so long. It's like a cable that could be extended from here to the next room, and it will still be like walking, but I'm going to get something shorter. I'm going to try. Sorry about that. In 2015, they received the balance in that excess crude account, the balance of a $7.5 billion. Now, when they came in, the oil exploration and then sale in Nigeria came under unimaginable, never seen before, coordinated international attack. From the production then, there was about 2 million barrels a day. It got depleted, so depleted to the point that Nigeria couldn't meet their OPEC quota because they could barely produce 800,000 barrels a day. Well, do you know where the rest of that was going? It was going steadily into the hands of the criminals who took over Nigeria. Easily, ships were coming in, loading all the crude oil, selling them to different countries all over the world. The criminals in Nigeria knew about this, but guess what? They didn't care. And that automatically affected their source of income. The dollars is not going to come again. Or if it's going to come, it's never going to be like before. Right? So the country that had the capacity of making, if there were no thieves in your system, the country that has the capacity of making over $10 billion or $20 billion every month from the natural resources, from the sale of natural resources alone from Nigeria. But because of the corruption, because of the criminality, because of the rogues that you called your leaders, even the 3 billions you were making no longer come to you. It now goes into the pocket of different people that you don't even know. These are the people that possibly you don't even see them in your government, but they are covered, they are protected. All these are going on because of one Nigeria. Today, the central bank says almost next to nothing is what they get from oil. Now, the money goes to the private pockets. $0. Second oil producer in Africa. This is where, when somebody was asking me about, the effect of what Nigeria has done so much to the people, right? The effect on the people and how people who want us, for example, right? The people who believe that we deserve better, not with Nigeria, by going our separate ways. How are they not tapping into all this damning information that could indeed open the mind of the people to why continue being part of this arrangement is like self-sabotage, self-destruction. And you cannot blame anybody for that. Because give or take, if your central bank says they barely get $0, or because as it is right now, your NNPC in Nigeria, they can only, whatever they tell you that they sold or they made from selling your crude oil is what you have to accept because you have no way of proving otherwise. Do you know that? None of you actually have any other way, any way of proving otherwise. If this criminal rogues says we only sold 40 million barrels in the last 2 years. Oh, we only sold 1 million barrels in the last 1 week. You just have to take it. And if they say, oh, we have not been paid, the people we sold them to have not paid us. So you have to accept it. This is what gives them that total control. And this is exactly why why they will set Nigeria ablaze, burn everywhere that is that could be burned, kill whoever is needed to be killed to gain that power in 2015. Because from what we heard, they had it all planned. It was almost the time to renew the what did they call them? Their licenses, their exploration licenses, or their drilling license or what have you. The licenses they gave to their friends who owns all the oil rigs and most of the oil platform that you have in Niger Delta region or any part of Nigeria right now. So we're told that the renewal time before that election in 2015 was close, and all it remained was that if Goodluck Ebere Jonathan should be re-elected or should win his own election like a second term, right? That they heard the rumor that most of these rogues who control your resources in Nigeria, especially from northern Nigeria, and their associates from southern Nigeria as well, who privately own your resources and give back whatever they can give to you. They call it royalty. The alliances were coming to a close. The expiration of that were coming to close. And then that 2015 election was very, very crucial because there could be a generational loss of wealth for them. And if Nigeria was going to burn, let it burn. So immediately they came in. Yeah, they renewed all the licenses that they could renew, gave new ones to those ones that are going to do their biddings. And within a space of 2-3 years, Nigeria that was losing about 50,000 barrels of crude oil every day to thieves started losing over 800,000, 1 million barrel, 700,000 barrels almost every day to thieves, oil thieves. So, and these are not, when we say thousands of barrels, hundreds of thousands of barrels, right? These are not things that you just carry 25 jerry cans or 35 liters, jerry cans and go and pump crude oil and move them. No, we are talking about big vessels that we have to like a batch, settle down, and it can take them days to pump the crude oil that they are tapping and stealing, load it up, and then sail into the Nigerian water, then into the international water. This is something that not you and I can do, no matter how much rugged you think you are. So if you can't connect the dots, I just gave you the hint now. So within 7 years, Nigeria started losing the money, the oil that they used to sell, all right? Get over $3 billion from, and they started losing that to some thieves until just last month or 2 months ago when they started discovering, oh, we see where they are tapping the oil. Oh, they just found out that they are tapping it from here. Oh, they found out that some ship, they found a ship that is loading the crude oil. The blah, 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 blah. Surprisingly, just a month or two ago. But let's do the math. Let's say every month from 2015, according to Emefiole, read this. From 2015, they no longer receive oil sale proceed of this tune anymore. Okay. Now let's say we don't want to say they are receiving $0. Okay. Now from 2015, May 2015 to December 2015, that's 7 months. So we are going to say $1 billion. Let's say even agree that they are receiving 2 billion, not up to 3 billion. Okay. And they are losing 1 billion to God knows who every month from May. 7 months will make it $7 billion. Right? Now, calculate from 2016 to 2022. That's going to be like 6 years, Abi, or 7 years. Now, that's 7, right? Now, 7 years, 12 times 5 is 60. 12 times 6 should be 72, I believe. That is $72 billion plus 7, $84 billion. This is us being generous here by not being kind of, like, oh, you are exaggerating it. Oh, Emefiole said that the official foreign exchange receipt from crude oil sales into our official reserves has dried up steadily from above $3 billion into an absolute $0 today. Absolute means totally zero. Now, if I have to use that word, if I have to go by that statement, which I believe is not being exaggerated, are you with me? So that would be like $3 billion times 7 years. That's 20 what? $21 billion. No, what am I even saying? $3 billion times 1 year. That's going to be like 36 billion or so. Yeah. Now that would be like $36 billion in 7 places or more. That's going to be like, let's see, somewhere around the $230 billion. Now, if we use Emefiole's number and not use mine, if you use mine, being generous, right? Using something that is practicable, okay? We say, let's say they were losing $1 billion from that time. it will be like 84 billion today. But if we follow Emefiele's logic, Nigeria have lost over $250 billion to God knows who. And you know who, don't you? So what this now meant for Nigeria is that Nigeria will have to resort into printing our own money or going out there to just go and look for who can give them money. Imagine a country that is looking to go and borrow. Your budget is, how much is your budget again? 20 trillion naira. Abi? 20 trillion. Alone, man. You guys, man, you have no idea what they have done to you. Here is another explanation I'm going to make on this issue of the money from crude sale. When the people who own the oil are being subjected to the worst environmental degradation you can never imagine in this world, oh, here you get. In that part of Nigeria, their resources is being so depleted and looted that they are shamelessly doing it, criminally boasting about it, like nothing will happen. I'll tell you something, though. Nigeria debt right now is over $100 billion. Okay, $100 billion, because Nigeria allowed thieves, Boko Haram and gang, in 7 years. They allow thieves to steal your crude oil money. That is over $250 billion in the pocket of God knows who. Now, they have dipped Nigeria, the entire 200 million Nigerians, into a debt, a perpetual indebtedness, which they said would take over 80 years to pay them off. Are you with me? Now, you have a budget of 20 trillion. In this budget, Nigeria, Boko Haram and gang, who have made many of you poorer, now you don't really have enough money to spend on things you used to spend your money on. The value has been your money has been devalued. Inflation has made things pretty much like unreachable for you. But for those who are still kind of managing, some of you are rationing. Rationing means that there are things you used to kind of get easily 4, 5, 6 years ago, when you are like economically a little bit stable than now. That today you realize that you don't really like flashy things, or you don't really like beer, or you don't really that stuff, because you have to cut your lifestyle according to the box that APC Egbekegbe put you. Now people have become poorer, and when people have no jobs, right, then government will get no tax. And government have no business than to take money from you by all means, and you can only give to government if you have something to give. In this case, they have squeezed you like a used like a orange, squeezed orange. Almost nothing is left in you. But in this case, they are also paying the pang for it. There is no money to run the country. Amechi said, "Do you even understand what it means to be printing money? In our case, it means there is no money at all. Money from crude oil and all that sales goes into private pockets. People you know, but you can't say." Abi? Now, from 20 trillion budgets, they believe that they can only manage to get 5 trillion from you, from businesses, paying you here and there, taking your money from the bank, charging you ridiculously for different things that you are never going to get the service. Even upon all of that, from 200 million people, they believe that it will be a good job if they manage to squeeze 5 trillion from all of you so that they can spend it next year. So where are they going to get the 15 trillion from? Crude oil money, no, they come. They don't zero their mind. It's no longer Nigeria money. It is the money of the rogues in charge of your government, or those who are protecting them in your government. 15 trillion naira. Where is that going to come from? Then they will have to go borrowing. And they say when you go borrowing, you should be prepared to go sorrowing, especially if they borrow on your behalf. So 15 trillion is going to be borrowed. Guess what is in that details of that budget? If any of them is actually to invest in you, invest in every one of you so that you can become productive, be gainfully employed, productive enough that when the following year, you will be bold enough to contribute into your nation building. But they don't care about which nation building. building what? Carriage or a bricklayer. They are not interested in that. You know that. So what have they done? What are the details in that nonsense? I'll tell you. Because Nigeria is so in debt that they have no real money to build their infrastructure anymore, to build their schools, to pay for essential services. I'm talking about the people that really run the country, that run the economy, the health practitioners, the teachers, the security agents, and the rest of those who actually run the country, not the criminals that you are worshiping. Oh, there's no money. Why? In 20 trillion naira budgets for 200 million people, which I believe is just about $25 billion. Can you believe that? Is that $25 billion? $10 billion in Nigeria is going to be somewhere around 700. Oh, hang on. No, it's more than that. But we'll come back to that. Don't let us ruin this first. I'll get to that stage. 20 trillion budget. Nigeria is going to spend 4.5 trillion servicing the debts of the years of the past year. What does that mean? You have a budget. I want to spend 20 naira. Out of this 20 naira, 4 naira, 50 kobo, I am going to use it to pay for the money I borrow. No, not pay, to pay interest on my outstanding basic. Remember that they don't even have the money they are budgeting. No, they are still planning to borrow that too. Okay, but from they plan to borrow money they will spend. They are budgeting for the ones to service the one they have borrowed and spent. 4.5 trillion naira. The second stage is the gbese, the conga inside your eyes, not kanda, conga. You know that kind of thing. Say you get a silo, a big silo, and you have this grain inside. I'm talking about big silo, right? And then you begin to drain it, and right before your eyes, you are going to see a hole right inside that, because that hole is the concentrated center where all the grains are following down the drain. What is that drain in your budget? Subsidy, fuel subsidy. I know many of you are now complaining of fuel scarcity in Lagos, some part of Abuja, and some part of eastern and the southern part of Nigeria generally. You are complaining now. Some of you are already buying the liter of petrol, 200 naira per liter. Some are saying they are buying it for 230 naira per liter. It is starting, but just wait for it. In your 2023 fraudulent budget, they want to spend about 4 trillion paying marketers that goes abroad to bring the petrol, the diesel, and every other thing to bring them down to Nigeria so that you can have access to them at the rate of 167 naira per liter. This is some people who told you they were going to build you one refinery every year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 7th year. The refineries they met when they came in, according to their record, were working at somewhere around 40-45% capacity. Now they are barely working at zero capacity right now. Yes, because it is deliberate. It is a total takeover. Destroy the economy, ruin it, and possibly break it. That's what I believe. Oh. For those who are probably not seeing it that way, fine. 4 trillion naira for subsidy because Nigeria still can't refine our own crude. Sure you get. Then what happened to the rest? Are you in rush? There is something called what do you call it? No, sorry. I wanted to use their own word, but I'll tell you what I mean. Like they have a part of their budget that goes into recurrent. Yeah, they call it recurrent. Payment of salary, payment of emolument packages for your criminal politicians, payment of medical bills for themselves and their children and their family, budgeting renovation of the same building they have been sleeping. If I mean, you know what I mean? Like All of these expenses, ladies and gentlemen, they also take over about 6 to 7 trillion of your money. Then the rest, they said, is going to be for capital expenditure. Those are the ones that is meant to build your roads, to pay for your building of the schools, all that stuff anyway. So at the end of the day, in the budget of 20 trillion naira, they only have just about 4 trillion naira for you, even though they have to go and borrow at least 70% of that money. And in my book, $100 billion should be something around 8 trillion naira of your money, Abi. $200 billion should be somewhere around 14 to 15 trillion naira of your money. So just imagine, no, $200 billion is much. I'm gonna 1 billion. What am I even saying? $10 billion is 7 trillion of your money. $20 billion is 14 to 15 trillion naira of your money. $30 billion is somewhere around 21 trillion naira of your money. So $30 billion, is something that the honesty, sincerity, and the accountability that should come with the public office, if they were applicable to them, this is something that they can make so easily from their oil within, 10 months oil sale. I'm just saying now, being practical, 10 days oil sale will give them $30 billion. But if they are like a responsible country, just a 2-3 months oil sale will give them $30 billion. Then go into other resources, natural resources that are actually going to fetch ×2 of that $30 billion every month. If Nigeria was to be a real place, then go into the real resources, human resources. Imagine a place where you have, instead of having 128 to 130 million unemployed who have no production, we have nothing to add to the economy. Are you with me? Imagine if you have a 100 million fully employed people with real pay, and they are paying their taxes to the system. Their money alone will cross over $100 billion. Within that 3 months that we are talking about. Yes, the capacity is there, 200 million people, but it is a mismanaged place. It wasn't put together for you. If 100 million of you are working, genuine, they will have nobody that will be following demented people, criminals, singing their praises. You'll be gainfully employed. You'll be challenged. A lot of you will be in school, studying things that are going to change your world. And you're talking about infrastructure, loan, and all these things, right? You will be at a different league, but criminals are in charge of Nigeria. But you see these ones, you have never seen anything like this before. So you see, me as a Yoruba man, I just want to see where, now personally, when we look at our people who are like genuinely wanting Yoruba nation, right? Look at this information. This is an information that is enough to be explained to every Yoruba son and daughter, wherever they might be, and say, listen, there is no progress here. There will be none. All these things are deliberate. Look at what we are missing. Look at what could have been our own if we have access to a fraction of this money, because it's part of our money too. A fraction of this will build standard schools, well-funded schools in Yoruba land, that every child in Yoruba land will be educated. And you are not just going to be educated, you are going to be, right, responsible enough to be productive and be able to give back to that same society, because there's so much that you could do by creating opportunity. And it all starts from the type of education we are giving to our people and what kind of the quality. And quality education, as I've come to know, if it is sustained, will build quality nation, quality country. And I bet that was what Chief Obafemi Awolowo saw when he, with little resources, It forged ahead and it was like, let's just do it. Let's start from here until they truncated that. So as Yorubas, these are the numbers that we could show to our people that now we are sharing the mystery. Our people, our children, when they say out of school children today, you will see Yoruba children who are out of school. Lagos State alone has 1.4 million out of school children. Go and check that in that Lagos State. Ogun State with just about a 6 million population. Ogun State have over 800 out of school children. Children who are supposed to be in school, but they are not. Nobody cares for you. Election is coming. You might see them showing Ojuaye and the rest. But you need resources to build the people. Nigeria won't give us that. But you can tell them what we are missing. You can show it to them. You can put the numbers, you can put, or let me say, why am I saying you? We can put, what do I call it? Illustration that explain what this simply mean in the truest form of it. When we say $40 billion, $30 billion, and other resources that are deliberately shared among themselves, and the proceeds from them are going to private pocket because of who knows who in the name of Nigeria. If what people own are genuinely directed to the use of the people, you will have no reason to be leaking assets of these criminals. You have no reason to be deceived by any fake pastor or fake imam or any fake what do you call it? All these people where they see vision for you and the rest, because you will have no time. You will have your destiny just right there on your hand, right? And whatever you do with it, you will be responsible for it. But they took all of that away from you, and they gave you fraudulent hope to begin to imagine what your life can be like if they decide to make you, out of millions of other people, if they decide to make your own life better. So you imagine it. Go and pray. Do you understand? So when people turn around and they say they want to continue in the legacy of Bokwari, let us be honest. What legacy? Just like Wiki asked here.
When I hear people declaring for APC, saying that they want to continue the good job of Mr. President, the good job of people dying every day, the good job of Naira falling every day, I feel so ashamed that we have gone to the level where sacrificing, people will come and say, look, I want to continue the good job of Buhari. What is the good job of Buhari? Of hunger is a good job. Of poverty is a good job. Of insecurity is a good job. Of the economy falling is a good job. It's such a shameful thing. I can't believe that somebody will come out in today's Nigeria and say, I want to continue where Mr. Buhari has stopped. May God forgive. May God never allow bad people to continue to.
God done it. Because if you ask me in a very clear term, Nigeria is already bankrupted. And you see all these people, including Kolu and the rest of them, if they want to be honest with all of you, it will be the point of their conversation, and also to convince you they should be able to tell you how they're going to get you out of this. You're not getting out of this. And I just realized that it is not just Nigeria. It is not like, maybe it's just going to be something that when you have a new leadership, the wave with what we have witnessed, is not just Nigeria. Ghana is already boiling, bankrupted. Some of these other African countries are already bankrupted. But put all of them together. Some of them, put all of them together. They may not even make up the number of 10 states in Nigeria. So when they say 128 million people in extreme multidimensional poverty in Nigeria, are you with me? It's not just about when they say, oh, no, they are looting you from the source. And many of you have no idea what this simply means. They are called economic saboteurs, right? You call them, you are calling them, you are seeing them as honorable men and women, distinguished excellencies and there. These are economic terrorists who have held Nigeria at the worst place ever. And as it is, except the entire system is completely crashed and crushed, you are done for. And I was, let me explain that again. The people holding Nigeria right now, they are beyond people that you say, Oti Kowoje. Hey, this one has Kowoje. This one is not Kowoje. The Nigerian money, Kowoje, when they say Kowoje, embezzlement, that one is when you say the money is already here. And when they share it, some people, they pocketed the money. That is what you are used to, Abi. On Kowoje, they don't embezzle. The people holding Nigeria right now, economically, that money is not coming to Nigeria. It is going straight into their own designated destinations. It's no longer coming in before they share them and loot anymore. They are just not. It's like somebody, for example, right? If you see my PayPal, right? My PayPal account online, then at the back end of it, I have my own bank account, which is now linked. Yeah, it's linked to my PayPal. So whenever I make a withdrawal on my PayPal, it goes straight into my bank account, the one I have put at the back end. So in Nigeria, when they collect your taxes, when they collect remittances here and there, when they sell your crude oil and the money is to be remitted, it's like PayPal, okay? When they want to pay you, they pay you. You see that they have paid you. Nigeria paid. Now, when you go in there to go and make withdrawal as Nigeria, are you with me? You realize that the money is withdrawn. It says Nigeria withdrawn. But the back end of it, no be Nigeria account, they deal. Not their own account. They have done you so bad, so evil, that it's going to be on at their own mercy. When they feel like, hey, Abu K, where was the last time we paid CBN from NNPC? They say, Alaji, sorry, Honorable. Yeah, we paid them last in January. Oh, how much? We paid them $1.2 billion. Oh, in January. Okay. Now, I want you to phone Emefiole and tell him that he should expect some money tomorrow. Then they will now phone him. Hello, Mr. Central Bank Governor. Hey, hello, yeah. Oga said I should tell you that tomorrow we are going to make a remittance of 2.4 billion. I say, Sule, how is Alaji? Alaji is fine. Alaji is fine. He just said I should tell you that. Sule, since January, I thought we sell crude oil every day. Hey, Godwin, I'm just delivering the message to you. Alaji said we'll give you $2.4 billion tomorrow. Go and announce it. Call the media and tell them that NNPC just remitted $2.4 billion from money they are owing Nigeria. And the breaking news, $2.4 billion is now paid by NNPC. Since January. Nikure. Do you understand? That's exactly what they are doing. You are at the mercy of those who are now going to tell you how much of your crude oil they sold. As a government, call Emefiole now. Emefiole, come here. Tell us how much crude oil was sold last night. How much crude oil is sold in Nigeria every day? Give us the figure. He can't. No, he can't. He will be telling you, based on the data I have, he will be giving different reasons not to tell you because he doesn't know. He is at the mercy of the people that Boko Haram have now handed the Nigerian oil industry over to, who have done you terribly worse. They have committed the worst and the worst economic sabotage ever. These are the people that ordinarily, if Nigeria was to be a country, an international investigation will be opened on them and heirs will roll. People will be jailed. Properties and then, assets will be confiscated. I'm talking about real crime here. But look at them. The Central Bank of Nigeria cannot tell you how much crude oil Nigeria is making every day. It can't. Because they still have to tell him even though he has all this contact of Shell, all these multinational oil companies in Nigeria. They are contacting with the Central Bank of Nigeria, but just on the surface, the real owners are behind. And they are the ones who will tell Emefiele, go and tell them, it's only 600,000 barrels. So is that the number? Are you sure? So if you say 600,000 barrels, that means from our royalty from that, you are owing also so and so. Hey, my friend, just because say 600, okay, say 500, say 500,000. That's how much we got every day. No, we can't say that now. We have a record that says you are getting up to 1.6 million. Okay, go and sell it now. Like, that's how they treat them. It is a country. It's like a cartel. You know what I mean? That's exactly how they run it. And you, the mumu you, they are telling you Nigeria is going to be great. The criminals they are pushing nose for you, like, oh, look at these idiots. Maybe so then tell your papa and your mama. Ask your own parents. Didn't they tell them that Nigeria was going to be great? They are the greatest leader of this or that. But when you pay attention very well, this is the business. This is the reality. This is what finally shape what Nigeria is going to look like economically. And in fact, if crime is going to increase or not, then in poverty, where you have poverty, what do you expect? You want crime to come down. Are you joking? Where people are poor, where people are trying to eat themselves for lunch, for breakfast and for dinner, you will see peace. Where hunger, starvation, frustration, coupled with a tyrannical dictatorship that they are living in, you must be living in mass. There's no way that you can have that mass number of poor people, over 128 million people living in the multi-dimensional. Do you understand what I mean? Children who are living, they are being born into poverty. All they know is poverty, which they now call survivor. I need to hustle. And they are in their millions. So you expect crime to be less because you are praying, because you know God, because you told God to talk. Are you mad? Show why meaning. So that's exactly why you have what you have. Because the source where things could ordinarily be planned, something where you can plan on and say, this is how much. You see, 133 million people in multi-dimensional poverty. And you are complaining about a kidnapping, complaining about this or that. That people are doing copycats. They are doing kidnapping for... People are even kidnapping themselves. I was reading somewhere where a housewife kidnapped herself so that her husband can pay ransom of 350,000 naira. Her husband couldn't pay that, sold his bike just to get his wife free. Eventually, he paid about 140,000 before the police caught them, and they realized that the woman kidnapped himself. You know, children are kidnapping themselves. People are organizing to kidnap them because for what? You have 133 million people in Nigeria living in multi-dimensional poverty. In the population, Ghana, what is the population of all these African countries? Start putting all this 133 million, start putting them in every African country and begin to imagine if you won't have the jihadist headquarters in Africa. Like everywhere could just do, you could just see law. And that is the number you are putting together in a contraption called Nigeria, where criminals like this are still what? Are still giving themselves a thumbs up. Well done, my shaman. Well done, Your Excellency. God will bless you. You are doing a great job. I want to follow in your footsteps. I don't think Femi Oponu Adesina want to spend much time longer. I said, Una no kuku appreciate us. We cannot wait to leave you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. Femi Oponu Adesina from the Presidency. Garbage Shehu. That one is the Presidency. Femi Oponu Adesina is the Vice Presidency. These have been the face of Boko Haram in the last 7 years. He said they can't wait to leave. Listen.
Beautiful. The president said he couldn't wait to get out of office.
I think those of us who have been with him since 2015 are also counting that we can't wait to leave.
What is it about that office that makes people want to I mean, sometimes they just want to get out.
It's a lot of responsibility, and then a lot of work, and then maybe a little appreciation from the populace. So by the time you are winding down, you can't wait to go.
Some people will say, but he asked for it. He was the one who, 4 times he said he wants to be president. Now he asks, why is he hurrying out?
No, it's not a matter of hurrying out. It's a matter of constitutional limitation. He has maximum of 8 years he can spend. He has spent 7.5 years.
If he had his way, if not because of the legal constitution, he may have left before the 8 years, isn't it? I mean, do you feel fulfilled that you have worked in a government at this time?
Femi Oponu Adesina. But it's a matter of that we can't wait to go. Everybody, they don't even appreciate us. Only little people appreciate us. The crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the all risers, Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, the lovers of their own chains, slaves that love their chains. Very few. And that is why, personally, I feel like, organizations that are going to make people see through the lies of all these guys could be those who are going to save us eventually. Because, as you can see, the journey towards their next charade is already cooking. And I've been told that Kalu will be coming to London, possibly this weekend. They are taking him to the Chatham House to go and give a speech like Bokwari did. I'm saying this to you, those of you who care for yourselves. None of these guys is telling you how they're going to get you out of this mess, which I have told you they can't. Kalu.
I don't read social media anymore. They abuse the hell out of me. If I read it, I get high blood pressure. I get angry. I don't read it. So, if I want to hear anything, my children or any of my workers will tell me, this one say this one. If I'm tired, I say, please, forget it.
Kalu. Just forget it. If I want, you know what I mean? If I want to listen to anything, I would rather let my children do that for me. Anyway, I know where to another buy. And if he comes to London, to the Chatham House, you can visit him. Go and take a glimpse. Go and ask him questions. It would take me about 10 hours to get there. But I wish I live in London, and I would have probably been part of those. I would say, you know what I mean? Like, I won't tell you what I will ask him, but it is what it is. That also, just before we take it up, right? I have an update for you. Remember this guy, this young man that tweeted that Aisha Buhari has eaten all the public money that she has ballooned from the usual Aisha. So this boy is called called Muhammad. Now, Muhammad, the full story, they have told us the full story now. Or should I say an update of this story? So we heard that Muhammad, who tweeted this, happened to be a student, a final year student in one of their northern schools. Sorry that I'm not mentioning names and all that, too, because I want to call it an update in the way, right? So, Aminu Muhammad, when Aisha saw that tweet that said she has ate all the money that she has ballooned. She ordered the DSS, Daura Secret Service, to pick up the boy. When they picked the boy up, they drove him straight. His family members told this story. They said they drove him straight into Ass Old Rock. Now, when they got to Ass Old Rock, they started beating him in front of Aisha, who sat there and watched them beat the hell out of the boy. Afterward, she ordered that they should take her away from her presence. Like, take him away. Take him away, rather. Take him away from her presence. And it's been over 9 days now that the young boy and the young man, rather, has been locked up by the wife of Bokwari. As they say, it runs in the family. Tyranny, pretense, corruption, and then being power drunk too. Shebi, you remember when was he a photographer or something? I don't know if that guy was a photographer. There was a guy who bought a SIM card, purportedly or allegedly to have been the old SIM card of Bokwari's daughter, Aisha's daughter. So this person who bought this Nigerian who bought this SIM card got arrested for using the phone number used by Bokwari's daughter before. Remember, this is who they were before. If you look at this picture, the one below, this is Bokwari's family before 2015. Look at them, the bottom picture. Imagine people like this, who bought Glow, MTN, and the rest. And the moment their papa got rewarded with presidency in Nigeria and they upgraded, changed their SIM card, never used them anymore. The mobile network provider in the country then reissued these numbers in a new. Are you with me? Yeah, in a new SIM, what have you? And then you just pick up a SIM card, but they said the boy is using the number to commit crime. No, they arrested him because they felt like he may go and use that number to impersonate Buhari's daughter, Aisha's daughter. Are you with me? It is the same family. So he runs in the family. And today people are now saying, free Aminu, Aisha, F Aminu Leo. If you know, say nothing is wrong, F Aminu Leo. The Bokwari that everyone knew at the time, yeah? And then the Bokwari of today, two different ones. So the Aisha they saw back then is different from the Aisha they are seeing now. And they are talking, Ajia, Efaminu Leo. That's one update I thought I should share with you just before we. Should I even kind of wait a while and take one or two calls? Facebook, the Facebook broadcasts have been taken off in a way. So if you are watching and you want to be part of this, you can also call in. I'm going to take calls, okay? And yeah, I'm going to take calls. I won't say that now. If I come back, or let me say when I come back, rather. When I come back, I'll take a few calls and then we can call it tonight. Don't go anywhere.
Baba,